Welcome, brothers and sisters, in tune again with Great Controversy Warrior. In this study, I want to be talking about now that you know, what will you do? Meaning, now that you know the truth, what will you do with it? Will you stay with that information all to yourself, eating up all that light, eating up all that wonderful, glorious spiritual food that you're learning and yearning to learn more, and just keep it all to yourself and not tell anybody about it, and or not do anything with it. Just keep it to yourself, just learning. You know, like those college students that go to college, they might get a degree in this particular subject or major that they're majoring in, but they leave empty. They leave with all this knowledge, but yet don't do nothing with it. Don't get a career. Don't start a career or enter a field that they were majoring in, or they just don't graduate. They start off and then don't graduate, and then don't end up in a 9-to-5 job, regardless of all that time and all that money and all that effort that they put into that particular major and or subject. Now that you know the truth, what are you going to do with it? Does this give us the liberty to, now knowing all these things that we've been learning throughout the years, because I have 2 years already making videos, does that give you the right to just, well, since I learned this, I don't really need to do anything with it. I'm glad I'm learning all this info, but I'm going to still live my life. I'm going to do what I want. Let's see what the Bible says about this subject. Let's read in Galatians 5, verse 1. That's Galatians 5, verse 1. And it says, "Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty in which Christ has made us free, and not be entangled again with the yoke of bondage of sin." Say that again. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty in which Christ has made us free, and not be entangled again with the yoke of bondage of sin. The Bible tells us clear, once we've been freed, once we've been given the opportunity to be free from our slavery, from our spiritual, sometimes physical, sometimes mental slavery of sin, stand fast in the liberty of Jesus Christ, which has made you free from the bondage of sin. We are no longer to be entangled again. That's what it says. Entangled again with the yoke, bondage of sin. Where do we hear that word, bondage? Let's look in Exodus. Let's look in Exodus. Exodus 20. Look in Exodus 20. Here we go. That reminds me of the time when the Israelites, right? When the Israelites were freed from the bondage of slavery in Egypt. Do you remember? Here we go. Exodus 20, verse 2. Here we go. "I am the Lord your God, who has brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage." We are no longer to go back to the land of bondage, of Egypt, of the world. Is it hard? I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. Is it hard? Of course it's hard. Take me many times, and I can probably I have lost count of the many times that I have told the Lord with tears, "Oh Lord, forgive me, Lord, forgive me." Many times. I can count the many times that I've changed, actually. I can't count, though, the many times that I've cried and told the Lord that I would change. I can't count those. But I can count the many times that I actually genuinely and sincerely changed when I said I was for the Lord. But it says to us, the Bible clearly says to us, when we learn something, when we are free of something, when we obtain the liberty of something, we are no longer to go back again into that bondage in which we were once slave to. Christ has made us free. Christ has given us the liberty. So why not enjoy that liberty and stay as free persons, as free individuals, as free men, as free women, as free youth? Why not stay in that freedom? Why do we continually go back to that bondage, which we know in our heart and we know by our experience? I'm not talking about that you read it in a book, that someone told you. No. These are personal experiences that you know if you go back, all it's going to bring you is pain, misery, and slavery. Mental, physical, and spiritual slavery. Everyone nowadays wants to talk about freedom, holding their fists, you know. But what freedom are you really talking about? Do I want to be free into doing what I want? But then again, hours later, on my lonesome, not really feeling that freedom that I supposedly have? Or do I want real freedom? And that only real freedom, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, youth, can only come from the giver of freedom. And that's Jesus. Whether you want to deny him or not. Whether you want to say, oh, Jesus was a whitewashed guy that they want to push on us to make money. Whether you want to say that, oh, his teachings are so, they're such of antiquity. They're old. They're not what's in no more. Whether you want to sit there and just blatantly deny the power of Jesus, the power of his word, the power of his prophecies, that's on you. But in the end, we will know the liberty that we have missed out on if we don't choose today. We will know. Oh, and that day is coming, brothers and sisters. That day is coming. But that's for you to choose. No one can make you. No one can obligate you. No one can force you to choose for Jesus or for the world or for the devil. No one. You have to choose. You have to choose. No one can make you. But know this. What will you do after you have learned the truth? Once you've learned the truth, what will you do? Remember, brothers and sisters, we are in a great controversy.